Oke, saat ini saya bersama dengan Coach Stephen Metcalfe dari Universitas Pelita Harapan. Coach Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you.
Thank you for joining our program. And maybe we start off by asking you, what have you been doing lately, especially during this pandemic time?
Wow, during the pandemic. Well, staying healthy, doing the best I can to personally keep my immune system strong, keep working out, keep eating the good stuff, breathing God's fresh air. We've also been here. We had some students, international students, who couldn't go home. So we've been taking care of about 100 students here on campus. Yeah, I mean, just trying to stay faithful and trying to keep getting things done. I have made a few little messages I've sent out on our Instagram, UPA Sport, just encouraging the student body, encouraging our basketball players to stay strong and stay healthy. And so that's pretty much what I've been doing.
If I may ask you questions, how long have you been in Indonesia?
My wife and daughter and son and I, we moved here in 1997.
Wow.
So we got a chance to witness a lot of Indonesian history.
Right. Since it's almost 23 years, right?
Yeah. It's well, actually 23 years, July 1st. So.
All right. So it's just over 23 years. Okay. Let's start with your involvement in the athletic programs at Pelita Harapan. I know that you are like a big proponent for student athlete life, and I know that the concept of NCAA in the United States was not available, was not exist in Indonesia when you arrived here in Indonesia.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit, maybe from your version of story, and how you trying to develop this student athletes program for Indonesian college students?
Well, sure. I actually came to the university in 2004. Before that, I was at SPH, and yeah, I had an idea in my head that the system that was running was an okay system, but it was so limited. We at the university, we had to go through Division II, then Division I, then main division, then national qualifying. And by the time you got to the national qualifying, you had a different team than what you started with. And so, depending on how deep of recruiting and how many years of good athletes you had, you could get all the way to nationals, lose a significant couple of players, and get kicked right back to the bottom because of the relegation system. And so when we started looking at that, we joined the system in 2005, got into the nationals in 2006, went to our first Final Four in 2006. We've been in Final Fours every year, but the system I just felt like was so small. 12 teams, few teams could really have a chance. And I thought, well, maybe if we flatten it out and create a system to where other schools and other areas of the country would have a chance every year. Every year, a team could have a chance to win a national championship. So, that kind of was the propelled me into different conversations and such. And then they were looking for someone to sponsor in 2010, and we decided to try to help take it on. So we went and got a major sponsor in Sprite. Brought in money, took it to the Perbasi, and we got to run the event. And in doing so, I built a relationship with Erick Thohir and started talking to him about concepts. And so that was kind of the basketball side. As far as the student athlete side, the amount of I don't know if it was cheating or just the system that was in play, where students, well, they didn't have to be a student. They could just get a student ID and play for any team anywhere across the country, and create opportunity to play, but it wasn't legitimate, it would seem, because they weren't actually legitimized students. So we started talking about this student athlete concept because the bigger issue for Indonesia was educated athletes. What's going to happen in the future if the people who love the game don't also love education and don't actually strive towards excellence in the classroom, becoming educated men in order to make a difference, have some impact in this nation. So yeah, Erick agreed. He thought it was the right thing to do, and so we together we were searching for someone. We got the rights to the Probasi gave us the rights to create, and we brought in Ryan Gozali to help create this Lima. But the idea of a student athlete, student first, athlete second, make a bigger impact on the nation, that really started, the conversation started before Lima, and Lima then became the catalyst for making this thing happen across the country. I was there at the beginning with the formation of Lima, but I've really had nothing to do with it. Ryan was the CEO. He took over. He had his plan of action, and he followed through on it. So that's from my perspective and what I was there to be a part of at the beginning.
And according to my archive, Lima finally started in 2012, and right now
Right.
2020 is almost 8 years. Lima has already been running. How do you see the development of Lima and their impacts towards your vision of student athlete in Indonesia?
I think one of the ideas is, yes, we wanted to spread out and develop other sports, but basketball was kind of the leading edge. It was the starting point, and I think maybe it grew too fast, resources got too thin, and it really hasn't become what was in my mind at the beginning. In some respects, it has. I mean, I think they've created an ethical system where you actually have to be a student at a university in order to participate in that sport for that university, which is correct. But for me, I mean, I thought by now we would have at least 100 to 150 universities across the country, and we would have a system set up of the local home and away, wherever it may be, creating a home and away system and make the conference the conference a huge issue. Make the conference really exciting. Make the conference valuable. Conference championships, and really develop it and really push the agenda for basketball development across the country, and help support local facilities, local universities to build facilities. I mean, like the facility behind us was all private donor. You know, we uh, went out and talked to the right people and got this thing built. And that I thought was going to be an exciting thing to see the local development of basketball across the country, and the conference play a big deal, and the conference play create this national system. And I don't think that's really happened. We don't play in local gymnasiums. We don't have a home and away schedule. And it's not a robust schedule. You know, I was hoping by now we'd be playing 30 games a year, and we would have history of playing back and forth against local competition to develop some rivalries. You know, develop something that the fans get behind, the schools get behind. You know, fill up university venues with thousands of students, you know, cheering for their university team was the vision. But you know, that won't happen if you don't play on their campus. You just play in a local gore, you know, a few games a year, you know, within a week, 2 weeks. You can't create that. It just doesn't happen. So I think that's one of the things I wish could be changed. But you know, I'm sure there's lots of reasons why it hasn't been like that. I'm just not privy to those reasons.
Okay, let's just move our conversation into a micro level. Let's talk about, you know, Pelita Harapan and also the game of basketball. Can you share us a little bit about your philosophy on how to recruit, you know, the proper or right student athletes for the Pelita Harapan basketball program?
Yeah, I think you know, that's to build a program, not just to have a team, but to build a program takes a comprehensive approach. And you have to be able to market your university, create something which people want within your team, within your program. You have to be able to find athletes. You have to be able to communicate your vision, what your university stands for, what you're going to accomplish, what you're going to give them. And then you have to follow through. The trust issue, if you don't follow through, well, you won't have a program. You'll have a couple of teams and there'll be nothing left because no one will be satisfied. And what the greatest recruiting happens for us, our players go recruit other players. Our players go and tell their brothers or tell their friends or tell people from their local high schools from all over this country about us. And then they come to us. I don't actually spend a lot of time going out and finding anyone at this point. They come to us because we've built something. I think we have built something with trust. We have built something. When they come here, I tell them exactly what it's going to be like, and then I do my dead level best to follow through. I give no empty promises. I tell them they won't like me for the first year. For sure, they're not going to like me. I let them know they're not my friends. If we become friends, it will be afterwards. Then we'll develop a relationship that hopefully lasts a lifetime. But while they are on my team, I'm their coach and they're the player. I'm very clear as to what UPH is all about. I don't pretend to be what we're not. And then we work really hard on the basketball court. But we emphasize citizenship. All my players coach at our academy, little kids. You know, we've gone out and picked weeds across the campus. We've done lots of things to show that we are more than just basketball players. We have tutoring on our campus for all of our athletes. We want them to succeed in the classroom. we go out of our way to help them grow as men and women. We want them to be fully mature, and so we do fellowships together. We have monthly meetings. We invest in them, and I invest in their parents. I communicate with parents. I don't shy away from parents. I want parents to feel like they're connected. We've had parents travel all over this country to watch us play, and it's creating that family, creating that environment. I think is the most exciting thing that we do. I mean, I could talk about this stuff all day if you want me to.
It's all right. Maybe
Yeah.
you can share a little bit more about the challenges that you experience, the challenges that you face when you're building up this program at UPH. So especially in relationship in the program that you build in basketball.
I think the challenges I think are pretty obvious. I'm the only bule. I'm the only Westerner in the whole system, and so sometimes that puts me at a bit of a disadvantage. I have felt a little disadvantage every now and then simply because I'm different. Well, sometimes it's an advantage. I mean, we're on a road trip. I think it was Surabaya. No, it was in Jogja. And down the road from us was a hotel, 4-star hotel. We were staying in a 3-star, and we didn't have a fitness center, but the 4-star did. And so every day I just on the road and walk into that hotel and walk up the stairs and work out. And they just assumed I was a guest, So I have a few advantages every now and then, but yeah, it's been difficult because I haven't built the relationships with a lot of the coaches that I wish I could have, simply because maybe I'm different. I have a different way of thinking in some respects. And then I've had coaches down through the years say a lot of things about me that aren't necessarily true to players that they want. So they just they say things about me, or they say things about UPH that are not correct. And so we've had a little bit of that. A disadvantage. My language skill, Bahasa, is horrible. I'm a lifetime learner when it comes to Bahasa Indonesia. So I always have assistant coaches who translate for me. My players, and disadvantage, I don't speak Indonesian. Advantage, they all learn English. So I force the English issue into everyone's head, which is good for them. At some point, that's gonna give them a benefit, in life. But yeah, it's a slight disadvantage. I had to convince, people here at the university how important this is, and that we're doing something bigger than basketball. And that has taken time and effort to create something of which the university is proud of. When guests come here, they bring them here, they show them our facility, they bring them to me, they want them to meet their coach. But that took a lot of time and effort. It wasn't easy because it's not the culture here. And honestly, if I was doing this back home, it'd be easier. I would fit in. I've gone to coaching clinics back home with 5,000 coaches, and walked by Krzyzewski and saw different big time coaches, and they get treated like kings. They're making millions of dollars, and I'm treated like a regular person here, and I don't make big money. So there's a few disadvantages, but overall it's been an awesome situation.
Okay. The basketball program at UPH, according to Lima, the men's program is achieving, really great, winning 4 championships in a row for national championships. And then the women's program won the national championship last year at UPH.
Right.
now UPH sending, their graduates, their student athletes to the next level, to the pro level, to the IBL. And
Yeah.
I just want to ask your opinion about the game of basketball in Indonesia. And, because Indonesia is not really well known as a basketball country, most of the people here, most of the fans, sports fans, watch either, number one, soccer, or number two, badminton. How do you see the development
Yeah.
of basketball in Indonesia?
I was in Grand Indonesia yesterday, and there's a hoops store all about Indonesian basketball, Indonesian basketball jerseys and everything, red and white and gold, and I thought to myself, wow, that is awesome. That's development. Years ago you would have never seen a store promoting Indonesian basketball in, one of the largest malls in the country. And I think Indonesian basketball has grown and developed in so many ways. There's always more to do. I mean, the NBA didn't become the NBA overnight. It took years and years. It took countless generations of people playing the game, stuck in old crummy buses, staying in broken hotels, making very little money, for the NBA to become the NBA. But if Indonesian basketball enthusiasts, and if they will keep working at it, Indonesian basketball can become special. I still think Indonesian basketball should be the cream of Southeast Asia. Absolutely. Everybody should be afraid to play Indonesia. Indonesia has so much talent, and there's so many to choose from. I think within the next 5 to 10 years, Indonesia will be the team, and playing against the best teams in Asia. I think they'll be there, and I think it's developing, it's becoming, and so that's my thought on it. It's just taking some time. I think we need to find deeper money as an organization, as a industry, as a sport. We've got to find deeper pockets. The Riady's helping build this place. There's some deep pockets that have helped us grow. Of course, Erick Thohir helping SM, and there's different areas. I mean, the DBL and such. I mean, there's different areas where there's some deep pockets, but we need more. And, if we could tap into the money, we could develop faster. But then the money has to be used correctly, and the whole system has to have a plan. I look back and I say, the American basketball as a brand internationally, when we were using university students to play against, Russia and back in the 60s and 70s at the Olympics, we were struggling internationally. And then, the dream team came in and changed the world. But I think there has to be a catalyst. There has to be something that changes. There has to be moments in history at which things change. And maybe the moment for Indonesian basketball is coming. Maybe there's a group that will just be outstanding, and then they can become heroes. And little kids can be wearing their jerseys. Gunawan on the back of their jersey instead of LeBron James. That's what I hope.
Coach Matt, this could be a last question for this interview. What is your vision for the sports program at UPH? Specifically, and in the broader sense, what's your vision towards the basketball game for the college students in Indonesia?
Yeah, Well, we had a pretty robust vision until COVID-19 kind of, kicked everybody to the curb. I think we're pulling back a little bit now. We're going to focus on just a few things, and of course, basketball be one of them. I think we still have the opportunity to, the big idea for me is to help, boys become men. I don't spend that much time with our women as far as the basketball. Last year I helped with Fajar. I helped with the girls team in the off season. Did a bunch of training with them, and it paid off for them. They were stronger, more fit, more mentally tough. But I don't spend much time with the women's sports on campus. My focus is on helping boys grow up into men that can make a difference, godly men. If you want to know the truth of it. And so at UPH, our vision is much broader than just sports. We're trying to help people grow up, be great citizens, make a difference, and be people that can run a business and raise a family and create a great society. But we use sports as a vehicle, and basketball in particular. Our vision has always been, we want to compete against the best. Whether we are considered the best or not is not up to us, but we want to be prepared, ready to compete against the best. I want our players to have opportunity to travel and create opportunity beyond Indonesia, or bring teams here, outside of Indonesia, to give them a taste of international competition. Constantly learning and growing as people. I challenge them with, philosophy, and I challenge them with thinking. How can we be mature if we don't know how to think? I challenge them with discipline. Discipline is a huge part of everything we do. I'm a disciplined person. Nobody works out any harder than me. I'm still studying. I'm finishing my doctoral program. I keep learning, keep trying to grow, and I want that for them. It's much bigger than basketball, but in particular basketball, yeah, we want to be the best. We want to not only compete, but yeah, of course we want to. We believe in this thing called athletic perfection. We go out and we give it everything we got, and we want to be able to play at a high level. We train at a high level. Our training system, the way in which we do things, I think has manifested itself. It's successful. I want to keep growing and keep developing it. I don't know what the next wave is as far as trends in the sport, but we want to be prepared for it. So I guess that's where we're at. And then, make a difference. We have an academy. We had about 100 students coming in on Wednesdays and Saturdays, young basketball enthusiasts. Like I said, our players become the coaches. So they're learning how to teach the game. I think that's really, really important. If they learn how to teach the game and fall in love with coaching and teaching, then they will spread this thing out much further than I can spread it. They'll love the game. They'll use the game, not to win championships, but to develop men. And that will have a big difference, make a big difference moving forward in our society. So yeah, that's the big idea.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Matt. It's been a pleasure to interview this afternoon. Thank you for your time. Maybe we can have another topic and we can talk again, interview again in another subject. Thank you so much, Coach Matt. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure. Stay safe. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.